They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state.
So the deep state, they're good guys, huh? They're dedicated to carrying out what Congress wants and what the president wants, and they're a cadre of stuff. Really? That's interesting. Folks, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It's Friday, and I'm exhausted. I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off, and I think that I'm right there with the rest of you and the rest of the world with what the hell is going on. You know, they're doing such a good job lying to us, the deep state, that I spoke with someone who's a hardcore Republican. They don't pay that much attention, but they were convinced because the news was saying Pam Bondi did a good job, that they thought Pam Bondi is doing a good job. See, unless you like literally follow, literally pay attention, and don't let them fucking gaslight you, you won't. If you allow them, they will fucking fool you, and that's what they're trying to do. But people are waking up. Don't let yourself be fooled by these fucking people. I was all over again today, right-wing media. Oh, Trump says Bondi did a great job in Congress. What? They had victims of Epstein sitting behind her saying nobody talked to them. They raised their hands because they were told to. Nobody from the Attorney General's office or the Department of Justice or the FBI talked. Unbelievable. Now, the rest of the world is not stoned out of their minds or fucking drunk like Americans are, I guess, because they're pissed. Now, you would think that America, land of the free, home of the brave, is where arrests would happen. Am I right? That's what you would think, just based on the stories we tell. But no one's been arrested here. All the files are here in America. And no one's been arrested. But over in Dubai, that's right, folks, Dubai, way over in the Middle East, the Far East, Dubai. Well, the CEO of DP World has resigned. Not only is the CEO of a massive international corporation, he is also a sultan. Yeah, folks, basically Arab royalty. Ahmed bin Sulayem. His name was unredacted in the Epstein files, and it was revealed in an email about torturing children. If it's so bad that a foreigner outside the reach of the U.S., a royal foreigner resigns, shouldn't non-royal people be arrested for what they're doing? What's been revealed? I mean, I feel like I'm in fucking loony land. It's the Twilight Zone. Literally the Twilight Zone. All these crimes, and they're not going to arrest anybody. They're not going to investigate anybody. I had someone ask me, they're like, is Trump the good guy? I go, I'll tell you what. This is the only way Trump can be the good guy at this point. Get your comments and thoughts down below, folks. This is the Friday free-for-all. I'm going to get done talking about Mr. Trump here and throw a theory out there, and then it's up to you guys to pick topics. We're going to go back and forth. No monologue, well, but I want to hear your thoughts. I want Uman to be able to pick out some good ones, and he'll give me a thumbs up. Let me know when we got a couple in the loaded up, and we'll go that way. But I said, look, Trump can be the good guy, but he is so far behind the fucking 8 ball now. The only thing that he is going to have is to say, hey, look, they were threatening me, threatening my family, threatening the world with nuclear annihilation if we release these Epstein files. I had no choice but to protect the rest of America and the world by not revealing the Epstein files. But you people demanded it so much that it's not me, Trump, letting it out, but it's you people taking control of everything. And that's the only way, by pissing you guys off and making you demand it, that's the only way to get to justice. But it makes him look like a heartless, soulless, sold out, controlled, and owned bitch. That's what he looks like. Now, is there any evidence to suggest that the theory I just put out there is true, that Trump might be a good guy? Now, apparently, he's been mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein documents, but they use the word "the" a lot of times, too. It doesn't make "the" a bad word, right? Did Trump do anything? Well, if it talked about him raping children or him doing any of that, oh, yeah, that's definitely grounds for, for justice being done. Got to be careful with what I say. Fuck. But he hasn't, or it had been released, or those papers are still being hidden, possibly. Now, let's just go with this. Let's just say that, yeah, Trump was associated with all these groups. He was all good buddies. He went to lots of parties, right? They're all big shots, lots of money, royalty and sultans and fucking movie stars and, supermodels and all this shit, right? Piles of cocaine 3 feet deep. All that's going on. Okay, fine. But did Trump do any of this Epstein Island shit? So maybe Trump says, I had to make everyone so pissed off, but the way we set up the Epstein files redaction, nerds can get in there and unredact it and reveal and piss everyone off more, to the point where finally everything is out of the bag. We know everything. And these people scatter like shit in the wind, which is what they're kind of doing. Allegedly released in the Epstein files, makes Ellen DeGenerate look like the biggest fucking cannibal of them all. Is that why she fled and was one of the early ones to flee over to England or wherever the fuck she's at? Right? So expose them all, they're going to run, they're going to fly. Kind of like Leslie Wexner, who I guess owns Victoria's Secret or Pink or whatever. He's some fashion fucking billionaire. He's all over the files. He's being harassed by people on the street. Good. He's a fucking criminal. But they're not arresting anybody, you see. But over in Dubai, at least Ahmed bin Sulayem has the decency to at least fucking resign and get away from the company. Right? But shouldn't these non-royals, shouldn't everyone be arrested for this? I mean, in England, Prince Andrew, brother of King Charles, is disgraced and been thrown out of the royal family. Well, at least publicly they've done that. Publicly they've stated it. Anyways, this is what we're dealing with, folks. I've got a whole lot more, but I want to hear what you put in the comments with Mr. Uman. Folks, I'm talking about this. I want everyone to talk about this. The whole world should be talking about this and demanding action. Mr. Uman, who do we want to put up here on this Friday free for all? It is the 13th. Friday the 13th, February 2026. And Mikey G writes this: the elites are more disgusting with every new Epstein revelation. We knew it was bad, but this is plain disgusting. Mikey says it's plain disgusting. It is fucking evil. It is fucking cruel. These people are sadistic, murderous, satanic, filthy, evil, demonic fucks. Okay, I'll give you one that came out today. We got a picture of Epstein with a gun, and they did some hunting. From what I could tell, they were hunting people, hunting children on Epstein Island. And apparently there was some extra excitement because they're hunting black people and called them niggers. That's it, folks. There's your racists. There's your bad guys. People in power, people in this Epstein group. Disgusting. They're extra excited because they get to hunt black people. They kidnap them. They smuggle them to the island. They take their shoes. They take everything from them. They groom them. They sexualize them. They fucking rape them. They hunt them. They kill them. They sacrifice them to their gods. They eat them. They drink their blood. They're just fucking, it's beyond disgusting. It truly is. And this is the elite at the very top. But guess what? Guess what happened today? Oh, yeah. Erica Kirk, America and the world's favorite bullshit. I'm crying. Oh, let me pat my tears, blonde bullshit. Now, according to what's been released, Erica Kirk is a sexual predator. She is a groomer. And this report that comes from Candace Owens, geez, is she crazy? Well, she might be. Candace Owens might be crazy, but she's also telling the fucking truth. Right? That's what they used to do to people, folks, in court, to discredit them as a witness. If you're a prostitute, a drug dealer, a loony in the head, or you're from the wrong side of the tracks, or anything they can do to discredit you. So they discredit Candace Owens. She's crazy. Well, she keeps releasing facts. She keeps releasing facts. Get this. Erica Kirk, according to Dr. Cube, whoever the hell Dr. Cube is on in the media, he said that Erica Kirk, sent sexually explicit texts to a 15-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl, and without the parents' consent, urged her to meet with a man and do photos. Now, Candace has this woman's name and got a hold of her. This girl, who was 15 years old at the time Erica Kirk was sending sexually explicit texts to her, she's now 27. So 12 years ago, this would be pre-Charlie. And the girl confirmed the facts to Candace Owens. Erica was working at that time, friends, for the organization, I believe it was over in Romania, that was convicted of child sexual abuse and trafficking. That is to say, kidnapping chitlins for sexual purposes. Probably, it would seem, maybe kind of Epstein-ish, right? Epstein-ish. Unfucking believable. Hey, Mr. Uman, what do we got out there? We got some good talk. Okay, he's giving me the thumbs up to keep going here, folks. I want to know your thoughts. What Epstein story? What Epstein confidant? What part is the one that got you the most? Which is the one that got to you the most? We now have an arrest, an actual legitimate arrest of an Epstein client, an Epstein associate, an Epstein Satanist. First arrest in the whole world, specifically as an Epstein client. Guess what? It did not happen in America. Why? Because Pam Bondi is a whore who is for sale. Trump is a liar. Unless he's playing 6D chess, and once everyone's finally arrested or chased out of America, he can come out and go, thanks for your help, everyone. Sorry I had to piss you off so much. That's the only way he could do this. Right? The FBI, folks, in my opinion, are worse than Nazis. I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Why is the modern FBI worse than Hitler's Nazis? I'm going to tell you why. Because Hitler's Nazis were honest about it. They were fucking honest about it. They came out and said, we're getting rid of these worthless people in our country, these people that we don't like. The reason we don't like them is all they do is produce pornography, get people in compromising situations, and reduce them to prostitution. We're for transsexual, transgenderism, and child pedophilia. And that was the 1920s and 1930s Jews that the Nazis did not like, and they were honest about it. The FBI are worse than the Nazis because they're not honest about it. They're hiding the pedophiles. They're not arresting the Satanists. But we do have now an arrest in the Epstein case. Guess what? And this is not a little regular person. No. This is the former Norwegian Prime Minister. That is the equivalent, my friends, of the President of the United States, the equivalent of the Speaker of the House. This guy, I'm going to give you a shot at this guy's name. Thorbjorn Jagland. His his political immunity was stripped from him because of his connection to the Epstein pedophile satanic island. He was arrested at his home. The world's first arrest related to Epstein. Norway, holy fuck. My people, right? The fucking Scandinavians. They're number one. Well, they won't do anything about all the fucking Muslims raping Norwegian girls, but I guess they'll get rid of this guy. Well, you got to start somewhere. May as well be with a former prime minister arrested. Now, you might ask yourself, but wait, thank you very much, Mr. Uman. He's on it today, folks. He was on it yesterday, too. No, sorry. Yesterday, I was at the doctor's yesterday afternoon. It was the day before. So Oliver's getting good with this. This guy right here. I think that guy with the glasses next to him, he looks suspiciously suspicious as well. These are extremely powerful people. And the Epstein files, the documents that are coming out, they're not being accused of stealing candy from a baby. They're not being accused of being rude. They're not being accused of making someone feel uncomfortable, which is an arrestable offense in England. Making a Muslim feel uncomfortable by having a British flag or maybe holding a Bible in your hand, having a dog. These fucking people are nuts. They're this motherfucker here, this son of a bitch here. Where's my finger? That cocksucker right there is passing laws telling other people they can't have their own flag, their own Bible, a piece of fucking beef jerky. You can't have a dog or a pet, right? You can't have bacon, but he can rape little girls. That's how sick these fucking people are, folks. That's how sick they are. Thank you, Mr. Uman, for putting old Bjorn up there so we can see who he is. I'm telling you. You guys, have you heard about the Antifa action out there? Antifa. Remember that guy? They're the anti-fascists. Antifa. In front of God and the world, in front of moving, photography, pictures, video. An Antifa mob attacked a young security guard. That's right. 40 Antifa members ganged up and murdered in front of God and the world a security guard. He's like a 27, 28-year-old guy. I want you to know where we're at in all of this. You've got people like this Bjorn asshole and Epstein and all these fucking powerful people like the cocksuckers in the FBI and the Attorney General's office. We're not going to investigate. We're not going to arrest anyone. Well, apparently, raping children, biting their genitals, hunting them, killing them, sacrificing and eating them. Apparently, in some countries, it's a crime, just not America. Trump says Bondi's doing a good job. What a fucking asshat. Well, that's the top. Well, down at the bottom, you got Antifa. They find you on the street. They found some guy on the street, discovered he's a conservative. They fucking murdered him. A mob of 40 people just killed the motherfucker, stomped him to death. That's where we're at in the timeline of SHTF. You get caught on the street and they're in their mob mentality, they're going to fucking murder you or me. My advice is, in America at least, we have a Second Amendment. We have a right to self-defense, to defend others, and defend the state, the government. Defend our country, not the government that's letting fucking terrorists and child predators run loose. No, the government is supposed to be for us. Be prepared to shoot, folks. You are going to have to shoot your way out of trouble because they're threatening people's lives and now they're just stomping the shit out of them. And they're youths. Antifa is young people, the fucking young morons. Now there's another video out of more young morons. It's fucking crazy. I'm going to hold off on that until Uman, I think, let's do one from the crowd. Let's do it. Yankee Watchdog says KTA LGSTO. That's too complicated for me right now. My brains are cooked. Can you send that to me? Send me a coded thing and decode that for me in Signal. I'm exhausted, folks. You wouldn't believe the fucking day I had, except you would probably believe the day I had. Practically a military term, but we never use letters. We just said the fucking words. Kill them all, let God sort them out. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I appreciate the assistance there. Yeah. There comes a point where people are just going to say, fuck it, and start killing the bad guys. Kill them all, let God sort them out. Kind of like one shot, one kill. Years ago, someone put OSAC or OSOC, and I was like, what is OSOK? And they're like, one shot, one kill. I'm like, we would just say one shot, one kill. I mean, okay, let me explain how this works, right? You've all heard of the World Wide Web. But when we give an internet address, we say www. www. That's 9 syllables instead of just saying World Wide Web. World Wide Web. It's easier to say World Wide Web than www. It's easier to just say one shot, one kill than OSOK. I know that on here, though, you guys can't write that, or it won't be able to go up on the screen because of social media censorship. So forgive me for my part, and keep doing what you do out there to communicate. But they're trying to stop us all. In fact, James Fishback, who is, it's kind of a goofy name, Fishback, is running for governor of Florida. He's a legitimate gubernatorial candidate. But he said if he is elected, there'll be no wall kissing. That's in reference to kissing the wall in Jerusalem. And he has now been censored, suspended from X for saying he's not going to kiss the wall. The censors are out there. They're trying to stop us. They're trying to shut us up. So I understand. I think it was 2 days ago, we had a bunch of messages not being allowed through, period. You got some crazy business going on, folks. Okay, Diving Frog says, John, I got my Zio box today. It came with matzos, grape juice, disposable beanies, and miniature guillotine. 100% Zionist approved. Oh, Mazel Tov. I guess, is that what I'm supposed to fucking say? Jesus. Wow. Anyways, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Zio approved. It should have come with, address of places where the media hangs out so you can go kill them. Oh, there's so much going on, folks. But let's continue, shall we? So on the one hand, down here at this low level where we all live at, not the high level where the powerful people is, the low level, we've got Antifa that'll stomp your brains out, or trannies, transgenders. Remember, just a few days ago, a fucked in the head transgender person shot and killed 10 people. Is it 10 dead? It was 9, then it grew to 10, and another 20 in the hospital, seriously wounded. This guy, they found a video of him, and it's a him who wants to cut his dick off, unless he did cut his dick off. This fucking idiot sitting in it looked to me like a closet, maniacally laughing. He's lost his fucking marbles, right? Trans shooter, right? There's obviously a pattern, right? The shooter in Canada, one that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk, the U.S. Christian school, I believe it was in Louisville, right? Catholic church shooting, other church shootings. If you have any doubts about gender-confused morons on SSRI, mental control drugs, becoming violent murders, if you still have any doubts that transgender people are mentally fucking ill, just keep checking the headlines. But between Antifa on the one hand and these trannies on the other, We are not safe. We're not safe, folks. It is quite a mess. It's very frustrating. This weekend, I'll be back Sunday Night Live, normal time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is President's Day on Monday. And it's interesting. President's Day, how are we going to honor them? By dishonoring the presidency? By failing to live up to constitutional standards? Is that what we're doing there, government? Anyways, comments down below in the comment section. I need to see and hear what you guys... What is the thing that's pissing you off about this? What is pissing you off? How about this? Former White House counsel to President Obama, top attorney at Goldman Sachs, a massive investment banking cartel. The top attorney, her name is Catherine Rumler. Well, she has not been arrested because she has a, quote, extensive relationship with Epstein. Well, before he died. But, yeah, she's resigned. Good. She should be fucking embarrassed and disgusted. What a bizarre fucking human to know, right? The biggest pedophile in known history. But she also works for Saint Obama and the most ethical bankers in the world, right? That's 3 strikes, bitch, right? Not Goldman Sachs. Okay, that's pretty awful. Obama. Oh shit. Epstein. That's 3 fucking strikes. You're out. But that's who these people are. They're all incredibly powerful, connected, and if anyone is capable of bribing politicians, threatening politicians, extorting politicians and their families and everyone else, it would be these people. I mean, Israel, if they don't want to be exposed, and they don't want to be exposed, Israel has their Samson option. Look that up. Samson option, if you care. Anyways, Saint Obama. Oh, boy, I tell you, folks. I tell you. What a day. I need a big, giant, freaking Scotch rocks tonight, I think. Mr. Uman, oh, how are you holding up down there on that end? It has been a long week, folks, and we're done. I'm done. I mean, how far do we, as people, have to be pushed before we just go take care of the problems? Well, I think what we're doing right now is really good. What we're doing is we're getting names. Right, Congressman Massey, Congressman Mace, Ro Khanna, and I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans, if they're looking in the books and releasing names. Right, when that happens, guess what? That name can come out in the public, and someone out here in law enforcement, whether you have a badge or not, if you take out a pedophile, that is law enforcement. It's called, and I don't want to encourage anyone to break the law, but vigilantism is what happens when the government refuses to do its job. And by the way, when I say Pam Bondi is a fucking bitch and a whore, I mean it. There is a law passed. Congress, meaning Democrats and Republicans, came together and passed a law. They sent it to Trump. Trump signed the law that says that the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, has to release the Epstein files unredacted. And she said, no, I'm not going to. You obstinate little cunt. She should have been arrested right there and charged with obstruction of justice, violating her fucking oath, and name it all. I don't know. It's just very frustrating, folks. We, you, me, us, all of us, and around the world have come so far to get to the facts and get the truth out. And they keep dragging their fucking feet and lying and bullshitting us. They're not hot enough flames in hell for these fucking people. Anyways, hey, Mr. Uman, let's see what the crowd thinks now. Let's have a look-see, shall we? Lynn, if you don't know me by now, I am not a bot. Basically, we all believe you. Writes, the left is calling people unhoused, that's homeless, gender fluid, retarded, just fucking retarded, undocumented, illegal, to dehumanize them and hope we will become numb to their plight. I think dehumanize might be the wrong word. Decriminalize in the sense of undocumented illegals. They're trying to decriminalize it. Gender fluid, they're trying to normalize a mental disorder, a psychological disorder. And then unhoused, right? That's really just makes it sound like they've been screwed out of their home. Well, look, most, or I should say many, I don't have statistics, so I can't say most, which implies more than 50%. But many of the homeless are insane. Not necessarily criminally insane, but they're crazy. They're fucking loony. Many of them, if not most, are on drugs. And many of them, if not most, find the unhoused situation refreshing. It's a refreshing lifestyle. You can sit on your smartphone that the government supplies you with somehow. I don't get that. They get free food. They don't have housing. They live in their tents and their clothes. It's a strange way to live. But they do that to excuse them, right? The unhoused and homeless, if you will, they need to have a more constructive purpose in life and they're very much a part of the welfare class. Because somehow as unhoused, unemployed, unwealthy, unbanked, they seem to have access to money and data and food and, of course, free medicine. And they take up a massive amount of public services. Gender fluid. Well, that almost sounds positive. When someone can't make up their mind what their fucking gender is, because it's just so much more fun and convenient to, I guess, one day say you got a dick and the next day tuck it in your own ass and pretend like you don't. Silence of the Lambs. Go ahead and watch that and you'll see a psychotic, murderous, evil fucking dude who kidnaps women, starves them until their skin is loose, kills them, cuts their skin off, and is making a woman suit because he's a transgender. I'm waiting for them to pull that fucking movie and say, you're not allowed to watch it. It portrays transgender people in a bad light. Anyways, thank you, Lynn, very much for that. And there's always more, folks. Always more. Uman says, George Carlin had a whole routine about softened language. I'd love to hear what he had to say about today's events. Sadly, George Carlin, who is a comedian and also a philosopher, he had a lot of philosophy built into his humor. I didn't agree with him 100%. He was very funny. It's not 100% right all the time. Like, I think one of the things that he said that I disagreed with is he thought golf courses should be given to homeless people to live in. I thought that's private property and people pay a lot of money to have a golf course. There's a lot of places where there's no golf course and lots of room for homeless people to live. But homeless people tend to go to where there's city services that they can mooch off of. And, of course, free food. But, George Carlin, very smart. He's the one that came up with the term and let us know it's a big club and you ain't in it and I'm not in it and none of us are in this club. But we've now found out the club, have we not? Epstein has the club. Club Med, Club Fed, Club Caribbean, right? And there's people from presidents and prime ministers to royalty, Prince Andrew and others, to sultans, to celebrities. I don't know, P. Diddy, Tom Hanks, Ellen DeGeneres, Rosie O'Donnell, Jimmy Kimmel are all supposed, allegedly, part of this club. To politicians, bankers. They're all part of this fucking club. Crazy. Let's change gears a little bit and have some more fun. Thank you, Mr. Uman. The left-wing idiots are very upset that Don Lemon is being federally arraigned for his crime. What was his crime? Christians were in church at a church service, and Don Lemon and a bunch of left-wing lunatics barged into the church, started filming people in a place of worship, interrupting their service. Is a violation of a law. There's actually a law there that says you can't do that to people. They started screaming and yelling and berating everyone in there, calling them racist names, whether they were black, white, native, or whatever. It didn't matter. They're just, everyone's a fucking racist. Everyone is fascist. Everyone is white supremacist. Everyone's bad. They attacked Christianity, attacked Christ. They made children feel very unsafe and threatened. They literally physically threatened harm. They made people show their identification so it could be filmed. So these people now are known by these radical left fuckers where they live. Okay? So today, anti-immigrations and customs enforcement protesters showed up outside the federal courthouse where Don Lemon, who probably sits on a lemon, is being arraigned, and they were waving very large dildos and chanting, "Protect the press, protect the press." Can you fucking see that? Waving a giant dildo, protect the press. Look, when police arrest Republicans, when courts throw conservatives in jail, when big tech takes right-wing media out, no more access for you guys, the Democrats cheer because everything is now partisan. It's all partisan. It's all political. The rights of journalists, we must protect if they're homosexuals like Don Lemon. The rights of Christians that Don Lemon violates, fuck them. They're white people. They're Christians, right? They're white supremacists. Even if you're black, you're a white supremacist, right? Everything is partisan and political. Journalists must be freed, except people like me and you and all of us, right? Freedom only matters when those freedoms allow people to screw other people out of their freedoms, right? Government is good as long as they're screwing constitutional, conservative Christians. The left wing is full of hypocrites and retards, and they can't be counted on for anything. I'm surprised they did as well as they did, helping Pam Bondi show what a heartless bitch she is and a horrifying criminal cunt. And I hate to use the C word because I know a lot of people, especially women, despise that word because it is a dirty, bad word. I think it's one of the worst words that I ever use. And that's how much I dislike her and Hillary Clinton. That was funny. Anyways, Don Lemon actually got, he's been arrested and let go and been arrested again. I think those people, the people of that church, need to sue the fuck out of that guy. What do you think? Does Don Lemon deserve to be allowed to get away with violating the law like everyone else in the club? I don't think so. Folks, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? I know right now we are being shadow banned. We are being censored. We are being hidden. But because of the preparedmind.club, because of subscribestar.com, because of that, you guys can be here live with me on Monday through Friday. But they don't like us. They don't want us talking. But we're making some progress. Whether or not the Department of Justice is so retarded, they put out the Epstein files, or a portion of them, rather. Yeah, it's now being uncovered. The pictures that are blacked out are being unredacted. Did they do that on purpose, knowing eventually we'd figure it out? or are they just that fucking stupid? Do they want us to find out and they have to pretend like they can't? Because they're owned, they're controlled by the CIA, by Mossad, by Israel, by Europe? I don't know, folks. They're not going to give us the answers, but we can figure it out. We'll unravel this ourselves. What do you think? Folks, it's Friday. We're going into a long weekend. A long, long weekend. And I could use the fucking rest. I could use the recharging. Ooman says, never attribute to malice what can easily be explained by stupidity. Thank you, Ooman. That is a profound statement that's been around for quite some time. In other words, it's easier to be stupid and more common than for someone to have malice, intended malice. Now, someone like Pam Bondi, I believe, is full of malice and hatred. That is a soulless wretch of a human. Same with Kash Patel. He's a fucking jackass. He finally gets laid and he can't stop fucking thinking about that and then doing his job. Anyways, but when it comes to the stupid, as described here in Uman's post, the people under Pam Bondi who were redacting things, yeah, they would be the stupid ones. Or maybe they're smart enough to know that people will figure it out. And so now Pam Bondi looks like the irretrievably malintended bitch that she is for having her people redact that stuff, but not do it properly. Yeah, combination. Anyways, I like it. I like the philosophy, Mr. Uman. I met another veteran Marine today, and another good conversation with this guy. And he said, he was a very nice gentleman. He said, people think that because we're Marines, we're violent. He says, but once you've discovered true peace, and I'm paraphrasing him, he was much more philosophical and poetic than I am. He says, you can't really be unhinged. You really can't become the violent, aggressive person until you understand what peace is. Once you know peace and you know what it is and where it's at, now you have a springboard from which you can garner all of your strength and just fucking waylay evil. Anyways, it was an interesting conversation. But basically what it told me is there are people out here in the public that they want peace. And when you take that from them, you have a very serious problem on your hands. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. And you see it with the left all the time. You see it with these transgender murderers, these transgender mass murderers, these people that are they're left-wing lunatics, kind of like Rob Reiner's son, right? They flip their lid and they become extremely violent. We haven't seen that from the radical right. We haven't seen that from the right-wingers. We haven't seen that from the Republicans. No, we're very peaceful. And I think that should scare the ever-loving fuck out of the left and the politicians. Because we've known peace, we've known comfort, we've known the good things, and you take that away, and I think that they could unleash a level of anger they've never understood before, that they didn't know existed. I've seen it, me personally, and I've lived it and experienced it, where once you cross that line, once that line has been crossed or the glass has been broken, you become an instrument of death. All right, Mr. Uman, let's continue, shall we? Let's see what the crowd has to say out there. And we got Yankee Watchdog. He says, what's with the 10-day no-fly zone in El Paso? I believe that has to do with the drones. What they're doing is the drug cartels down there. I believe it's the Sinaloa drug cartel that operates through Mexico, several of the provinces or states of Mexico. And what they're doing is they're trying to fly drones, and the drones they're not shooting people. They're not dropping munitions, as far as I know. They use them to fly drugs over and drop drugs for rather than having human couriers that could get intercepted. So they're flying drones. They're also spying on Immigration, Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol. They're just doing a lot of spying, and then they're flying drones in full of drugs, is my understanding. Cartel drones allegedly might have been trying to disrupt deportation flights or something. That's the other part of this, is they're trying to deport people out of the country. I believe in Phoenix, Arizona was a big one. But you can fly a drone into a jet engine and take a jet engine out. Doesn't take much to take jet engines out. Apparently they're hard enough. A lot of nickel in there, the metal nickel. But it's they can be weaponized pretty quick, even without explosives. But they can spy. Uman says, can you imagine if they brought down one of those military transports filled with them? Media would have had a field day. Oh yeah, the mainstream media would love to have a drone take out a jet full of people and then blame ICE for it. Blame the government for it. You know, if you had just left them here, they'd all be alive. Well, if we hadn't brought them here, how many Americans wouldn't be murdered, raped, robbed? How many fucking thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans have been assaulted, robbed, kidnapped, drugged, raped, tortured, and murdered by these same illegal motherfuckers that every Democrat is out on the street corner saying we should just leave here. You know, I don't know what's worse, these transgender fucking murderers or these fucking foreigners. Oh, by the way, after the I'm a girl but not really a girl guy killed everyone in Canada, the police up there are still using the proper pronouns because they're a marginalized portion of society. They're fucking mentally ill, but they don't want to offend anybody. Well, down here in America, they filmed the same transgender fuckwad in high school, assaulting 3 different girls, not 1, not 2, but 3, pulling them by their hair, slamming them around, punching them, all caught on video. Was this just a bad day for this motherfucking fruitcake? Or is it that the police won't do anything, the school won't do anything, and girls are being victimized? They're being victimized by transgenders, whether it's just sexually being harassed or physically being assaulted, or sexually being harassed and physically being assaulted and raped by foreigners, or physically harassed, kidnapped, drugged, raped, and murdered by fucking politicians in Epstein's little world, Zorro Ranch. All this stuff is coming out, folks. And what I've done to do my best while learning what's going on is supporting every single post that calls for justice, calls for the Vote Act. You know, let's make it so if you want to vote, you got to have ID, right? In fact, the United States Senate is like 1 vote away from having enough to get this on the floor. I think Susan Collins, who is a rhino sack of shit from, I think, the state of Maine. There's another big capital C unt. You know, she needs to be pressured to pass this. You have to have a license to drive, a license to get a gun. You got to have a license to prove your age to get alcohol. You got to have a license for everything except voting for the government that controls you. If a mayor, councilman, senator, assemblyman, congressman, senator, president, any one of these people gets elected by a foreigner, no longer am I or you being represented. It is malrepresentation to have foreigners voting for fucking people. It's just crazy. All right, let's have some more fun here, because boy, am I happy about what's going on in my country. Uman says, compassion for the guilty is cruelty to the victim. Indeed. Absolutely. You know, it doesn't mean you can't have any compassion, but justice demands justice, right? Hey, I'm sorry you're an asshole, but you're going to the electric chair. There's my compassion. That's the level of my compassion. Oh, you're upset that your daddy spanked you when you fucking stole all the cookies? Well, you should have gotten, you know, these fucking people. They always want to play victim. Oh, I'm the victim. Oh, we got to, you know, they want to protect the, you know, speaking of compassion for the guilty, the U.S. Senate is working to criminalize sanctuary city mayors and governors who are defying federal immigration law. Now, isn't giving aid and comfort, isn't aiding and abetting criminals, whether before or after the fact, isn't that already a crime? If somebody robs a bank and I help hide them, I'm just a sanctuary human. No, that's aiding and abetting after the fact. If I know someone's going to rob a bank and I assist them, I'm an accessory before the fact. I'm still a criminal. Whether an illegal has committed a crime in addition to being here illegal before they get to a city or state or after, and these cities are like, yeah, we're a sanctuary city, we're a sanctuary state. How do you prove that the governor or the mayor is responsible? I think the same applies to judges and district attorneys for refusing to prosecute or sentence, or these ones that want to let them out and release them early. You're letting a criminal out. I think you're aiding and abetting criminal activity. Definitely after the fact, because we already know they're criminals. And then they go out and commit more assaults, more murders, more rapes. They all need to be held accountable. And I think we, Mr. Uman, all of us, for the past 2 years at least, I've been screaming and yelling, these people are not doing their job. They're not obeying their oath. They're violating their oath. They're violating the law, but there's no accountability. Right? Pam Bondi should be arrested for not complying with the law that says to release the Epstein documents. She's obstructing justice. Justice needs to be served. She is not criminally prosecuting these people in these lists who are being accused of fucking crimes. 30 days in the electric chair. And there it is. Now that's justice. 30 days in the electric chair. We're here. We're at this point now, folks, where good people are preparing to do very bad things. But we need to focus on Iran. I want everyone to know that. Never mind Trump or Bondi. Never mind Raskin or 90 Proof Nancy. Never mind Epstein or Israel, the CIA or Mossad. We need to focus on Iran, because intelligence reports are showing that Iran is secretly executing its own people. Well, if Iran is executing their own people, how horrifying is that? I mean, what kind of awful, sadistic, terrible country would allow such a heinous crime as that? Executing your own people. Should Trump send jets over there and Navy ships and just bomb the shit out of Iran for what they've done by secretly executing their own people? Well, if they're secretly doing it, how do we know about it? If it's a fucking secret. It's not a secret if we know that they're secretly executing their own people. But we should nuke them for it, for secretly assassinating their own civilians. I mean, that's what Hitler did too, right? Hitler's bad. He killed people in his country. So now we've got Iran is secretly killing people. Hitler killed people, and they're awful. The worst people ever. Also, Israel kills reporters for reporting what is being done. How many hundreds of reporters now? And Israel is killing innocent civilians, children, women, because they might become terrorists or have children in the future who could become terrorists. So it's okay, right? And the Clintons, well, they know that I think they have over 200 friends and associates that have committed suicide. A lot of people think that they're secretly being killed by the Clintons and the Clintons' protectors. But Iran is evil. We need to go after Iran because Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel says we need to go after Iran, and they're secretly executing their own people. Well, we know Israel is unsecretly killing their own people and killing the people in other countries and killing Christians. That's right. They're bombing the fuck out of everyone in a bunch of countries. But we need to worry about Iran. What a world we live in. What a dangerous web we weave. Right? They're weaving a deadly web, folks. Don't get caught in it. Get prepared. Chance favors the prepared mind. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Because they could pull the plug. We could get hit with a cyber attack that kills banking. They could just shut off the fuel spigot, shut off the water, shut off the electricity, shut off communications, cell phones, the internet. Get prepared in case that happens. Because it could be done by Iran. It could be done by Israel. It could be done by Europe. It could be done by our own government. It could be done by Russia. Sure, of course. Or China. Of course it could be China. We won't know. You'll just know that I'm sitting here in the dark with no fucking water. I'm out of gas and I'm getting hungry. And I hear people shooting each other outside. So also have a means of self-defense. I'll be back Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to get rested up. I'm going to get prepared, and we're going to have a hell of a show Sunday night. Yes, indeed. Mr. Uman, thank you, sir. I want to thank everybody for your support of the channel and for as uncomfortable as it is, helping dig through all the bullshit and get to the truth, the facts, reality, and not to be a fucking stool pigeon and listen to some government mouthpiece tell you what to believe. If they're from the government, they're not here to help you. And if their lips are moving, it means they are lying. It's up to you to get to the truth. I'm just another conduit, another messenger. I wish I could reach more people. That's why I rely on all of you to help reach, share the word, share the message. And the message isn't this person's bad or that person's bad. The message is wake up, see what's going on, get prepared, and then join the effort to bring justice and truth in the American way, make that a reality again. Semper Fi, one and all. I'll see you Sunday night.